Welcome to the new Overlords Podcast. I'm Max, and this is a video game show where I'm joined every week by the most anticipated podcaster of 2026. It's Sema. Hello there, Sema.
Are you saying that Sema is in?
Sema
then
is
who's
in.
out?
Max is out.
It's funnier when you say it.
Oh, you were going there anyway. That's what you meant. You were like, that was a leading question.
So how are you doing, Max?
I am doing great. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2026.
Yay.
You know, it's weird. I didn't put that in the intro. I didn't put, Happy New Year's first podcast of the year because what is it? It's already the 7th and I already feel like it's been 2026 for a month.
Right. I do too.
I've had a ton of stuff that had to be done like the first week in January. So I've been like inundated with just like tons of like studio stuff, some podcast stuff, some like tax and accounting stuff, personal stuff. I've just had a million things going on. So yeah, it feels like it's been 2026 for forever. I would not be writing 2025 on my checks if I ever wrote a check anymore, which I write. How often do you write checks? Maybe once a year I'll write a check these days. In fact, maybe not even that. Maybe I didn't even write a check in 2025. Anyway.
I write 4 checks a month or 5 depending on how many
That's
Tuesdays
crazy.
there are.
Just Venmo.
I know. I would, trust me, I would rather do that.
My bank sends checks if I ever need to actually send someone a check. So then I feel like I'm not writing checks, but technically the bank's writing checks. Bank's writing checks your body can't cash, kid. All right. But we are in 2026. We have a little bit of news. And then stay tuned because I'm pretty excited. We did some research. We looked at a bunch of trends. We came up with our own ideas, our own theories about what's going to happen in 26, and we're doing what's in and what's out for 2026. And yeah, I'm pretty hyped about it. I'm excited. But let's start out with just a couple of the news headlines that came up.
Good news, everyone.
First up in the news, 2 reasons I pulled this up. Where Winds Meet version 1.2 update is out later this week, and it includes the most formidable challenge yet. I don't really care that much about Where Winds Meet. I would like to see it develop.
Yes.
But I love IGN. So look at the subtitle by Vicky Blake is Blown Away. Good job. Well played. This is journalism. These are writers writing things to,
with words.
Writers writing.
She's making a picture with her words. I like it.
Good job, Vicky. Thank you very much for that. And we'll see what's up with Where Winds Meet. This could be, I think Where Winds Meet is in for 2026. So if we want to just start there, we'll get to that. We'll get to MMOs as a genre. We'll get to the genus of MMO, the MMO genus later. Let's see what else. Oh, this popped into my feed as well. Another IGN article. And I saw this a couple places. In theory, we debated how much it actually plays in, but in theory, in Arc Raiders, they have matchmaking. And one of the factors in the matchmaking is aggression-based matchmaking. So if you're kind of like a shoot first player.
I like the thinking behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. So do I. I thought that's kind of interesting. Yeah. So if you're a shoot first player and you're a hardcore PvPer, you're just like, you're shooting everybody. In theory, you'll get matched with other people who play that way. But if you're a friendly player, and you're using voice and saying you're friendly, and you don't shoot first, in theory, you'll get matched with other people that play that way.
Right. Like if you like to play the objectives more than killing people.
Who is the editor? Who is the senior editor at IGN? Look at the subtitle on this one. I'm dying to know. That's good. This has got to be the editor. Because this is Wesley Yin Poole.
But I rush to add that this aggression-based the aggression-based part of it is just one factor. Like, and it's not like the developers say, it's not a science, right? This is what they're aiming for, but skill comes into account, and also the size of your party. And I think by the time those things get matched, if there's somebody who's your aggression level that's available, fine, but there might not
Yeah.
be.
Right. And we also were thinking, as soon as people figure this out, these kind of systems get broken because they get gamed right away and people work around it and all of those kinds of things as well, because the aggressive people want to play with the non-aggressive people,
Right.
um,
Because
because they feel like they're wolves and everyone else is sheep, where when they have to actually play with other wolves, then they're little babies.
yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, but better put. But my version was shorter.
Was it Jesse Pinkman's take on them?
I don't get that reference, but possibly.
The B word, the
Oh.
little B, you little bitch. Yeah. Uh, also, okay, here's another. Here's another. Oh, it's also IGN. I swear I don't only read IGN. In fact, the next one's not. But this one nearly has nothing to do with video games, but I liked it for two reasons. So, Sir Idris Elba. Idris Elba got knighted. So he got knighted in a New Year's honors. I think that's super cool. Idris Elba is worth it. And my subtitle to this one was, "It's surely because of his work in Cyberpunk 2077."
Yes, that put him over the top. I know it.
Which also then made me think of this Reddit post that I saw this week that cracked me up. This is one of the few times I actually, huffed an audible semi-laugh out of my face in reading the internet this week. There's somebody posted on the Cyberpunk subreddit, "My fan cast for Johnny Silverhand," because people do these all the time. Of course, it's Keanu Reeves. But it only got better because all the replies are like, "No way, man, I don't see it, I'm afraid. What about Jack Black?"
Right, maybe Jack Black, right?
Dwayne Johnson should play him. And then of course, Idris Elba would be better. And then they said, "Oh, but you know what? If they adapt Phantom Liberty, we could get Keanu to play Solomon Reed. Wouldn't that be cool?" Yes, exactly. So Idris Elba, and we need Idris Elba and Keanu Reeves in some live action Cyberpunk. That would be really cool. But
If you read that article
old.
about Idris Elba getting knighted, it also lists a bunch of people getting OBE, Order of the British Empire. And so what that is also an honor. Knight is a higher honor, though.
Is it? Okay. Interesting.
Yes. But if you get OBE, that doesn't mean you can't go on to also get knight. So you can actually progress up the ranks of the
So you're
British
saying
Empire,
Idris
apparently.
Elba is higher than Warwick Davis?
Right. And
He towers
actually
over them in some way.
or Cynthia Erivo or all the other ones, Richard Osman that got OBE. It's still, I mean,
So Warwick is
yeah.
still looking up to Idris Elba.
Yeah. You went there.
He almost made knight, but he was a little short.
Oh my God.
That's bad.
No.
I love Warwick Davis, but I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right, let me stop there before the angry emails. Max is canceled for 2026. Cool. The Midwestern honor of OPE. Oh, your dude coming right past you here. Windows Central, so last news item of this first week of the year. This was late breaking news. So this just came out today and I caught it late. This is an article by Jez Corden on Windows Central. And according to Jez Corden's sources, and he didn't explain what his sources were. So they could be insiders inside of Blizzard, inside of Microsoft, or it could be random anonymous dude on Twitter. But
who knows? Yeah.
According to his sources, StarCraft is likely going to be the headline for 2026 BlizzCon. And it was previously reported that StarCraft is getting a third-person shooter treatment, and he confirmed that those rumors of the third-person shooter game were true via his own sources a while back. So StarCraft getting some love, I think, is cool. StarCraft getting a third-person shooter, I think, is super cool. So this StarCraft could be in for 2026.
Yeah. I think that would be wonderful. So many StarCraft fans.
I've not played StarCraft in a long, long time, but about once a month when I get bored, I will still watch StarCraft matches. Scarlet and Cyril. I like not Horde. What's it? Not Protoss, not humans, the insect. Why is my mind going blank? What chat room? What faction do I play? What is this? My main faction. This is the only faction I play in StarCraft 2. Bugs, the bug people.
The bug people.
Horde, swarm, creep, the creep, Zerg. Damn. Geez.
Oh, okay.
Zerg. To the point that the way the graphics on the creep spread works, if you look at what we do in Garden to Goat, when you plant either ground cover or you have to plant a mushroom to condition the ground. When you plant ground cover, the ground cover spreads. When we're designing that, I told my team and we looked and studied what it looked like when the creep spreads. So it's creep spread, but it's nice and it's good in Garden to Goat. And that's kind of what you need to do. And the mushrooms are your creep tumors in our game.
Nice.
Yeah. So I love StarCraft. I love to still watch. It's the only esport I've ever actually bothered to watch a full match all the way through, and I continue to watch them. It just fascinates me, and I like to play it as well. And I'm a Zerg player when I do play. Colicoid, yes, Stask, you're right. It's Colicoid. So cool. I hope it is something StarCraft because it's a really great and underappreciated or
underused
utilized
IP, yeah,
from Blizzard.
Yeah, right.
All right, in the coming soon category, yesterday I haven't had a chance to check into it too deeply, but that one new base building survival alien bug hordes, colicoids and Zerg,
Right.
sort of like survival plus satisfactory game called Star Rupture came out yesterday. I may play it a little bit this weekend and talk about it next week. We'll see, because it's kind of high on my list of things that are relevant to my interest. They had my attention, and now they have my interest. Burning Crusade classic. Burning Crusade
Right.
comes out on
again.
next week.
This is the second time for Burning Crusade Classic.
We've had one Burning Crusade classic, but what about second Burning Crusade classic?
Yes.
So that is coming out also January 13th, anticipated by a lot of people, and it could be a big thing for 2026 is Hytale, which is basically a Minecraft-like game with a bit more RPG to it. So that's interesting. It's very early access from what it sounds like, but the original creators got it back from Riot, and they're going to be working on it. And then a couple weeks down the road, we're going to get Highguard, which isn't that Overwatch thing. And unfortunately, when we get to talking about hero shooters are out for 2026. So Highguard is going to be in a tough spot. And then I'm still looking for the release date for Lost Isle, which is another magic medieval survival game, potentially with more people to it. And I do like when you could get moderately large number of multiplayer. I only want like a dozen people because I just want us, but the multiplayer is where it's like you can have up to 4 people co-op in our survival game. 4 people's not enough for me. But 12 is good.
And I wonder when I think about Lost Isle 2 and any game where they say up to 200 is if they're going to have a player economy. Because that's, in a way, that's the only thing that makes all those people around have a function.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you're not going to fight all of them, and you're not going to look at all their houses and
giant bosses to group up and fight. Like world bosses would be the other thing.
Yes. And also to have a vibrant queue if this game is the kind of thing that has a queue.
So we'll see. I'm playing a ton of Ark Survival Ascended Lost Colony, the Lost Colony expansion that just came out right before the end of the year. I'm playing a ton of it right now. We do have a small group of people playing that. I'm hoping to drag some more in. And that's the kind of survival game I kind of like the best, which it works really well for dozens of players, anywhere between one and dozens of players to play together on a server. And we've got our own server that's hosted by a friend of ours in the AIE community. So it works really well for that. And it works really well to play both solo or co-op. So we're right now playing very solo, all of us who are in there playing. While we're in game, we're playing solo, but we're communicating constantly on, if you look at the New Overlords, join newoverlords.com/Discord. We're trading notes and tips and stuff constantly. And soon, likely, we'll be trading.
And saving each other from things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A couple rescue missions. So there's that kind of thing. And we'll be trading like dinosaur eggs and stuff as we start getting into the higher level content, and then probably grouping up as well. But we each have our own base, and you get to, because you want your own base. You want to build, you want to experience all of the things. And if someone else builds the base, then you didn't get to do base building, which I don't like. So games that, you say you can play co-op, but the person who's online the most does all of the things, and everyone else just sort of gets to come in and see what got done, isn't as fun. Cool. This podcast is brought to you by Garden and a Goat, the upcoming game from Contemplation Games. We'll be going into a closed pre-beta by the end of the month and an open beta likely by the end of February. So keep an eye out for that. We're really hoping to get into a couple festivals and conferences this winter, and then be pushing towards Steam Next Fest for June, and with an early release access not long after. So late summer is early release for Garden and a Goat. 2026, big year. Some of these the first week of January stuff has been all about Garden and a Goat and some things we needed to do to kick off the year to get that ball rolling in a few different ways. Now we have a bunch of work to do because there's things we want to get done, but a bunch of work got done in December as well. So we have some new things that we're going to be showing off in the Garden and a Goat Discord, gardenandagoat.com if you want to check that stuff out, or our Steam page. I'm going to be showing off treasure chests, treasure capsules we've got the drone is fully operational, and it's got its first two abilities, and it'll follow you around and do stuff for you. It's got this week we're getting a few more of our secret variants of all the animals online. The owl is now in game, so really cool things to show off. Can't wait. Come check it out. We're going to be unveiling more and more of that, and driving towards that open beta in about a month and a half. This podcast is also brought to you by our friends at Alea Yacht Est. They are us. We play there as well. AIE-guild.org. Bunch of Discord channels for every major MMO. We've got small groups in some of them, big groups in other ones. There's a bunch of work going on right now in WoW Retail to reunify the chat across all of our guilds, because we have so many people and so many characters in WoW. There's basically it's something like 12 guilds across both Horde and Alliance. There's like 2 Alliance ones and I think 11 original Horde ones. It's consolidated down a little bit now. I think it's down to like 6 and 2. But the new chat system that's being put in place right now, I think works even across faction, which is really cool.
It should, yeah.
So when you talk in guild chat, it actually connects it behind the scenes and you're talking to all of them. Because it's too many characters to put in one guild. Way back in the day, way back at launch, AIE was one of those first guilds that had so many people, it broke the guild system and was one of the reasons that Blizzard ended up putting caps on the guild system.
I think they tried a few times to implement fixes, and instead they ultimately went with the caps.
Yep. And this podcast is also brought to you by all of you out there watching, listening, and in the chat room right now, both before and after, in the pre-show, in the pre-show, which happened when I accidentally hit stream 20 minutes before we were ready and left my chair and had an empty chair stream running today. So thank you everybody who was chiming in and chatting with each other while there was an empty room. Thanks everybody for joining us in all of 2025. Glad you're still here in 2026, and we will be glad to provide more podcasts all year. Hey, Sema, things are changing for 2026.
Game changer.
Game changer.
Game changer.
Game changer for.
Game changer for the industry.
Game changer, Sema.
Yep, things are changing as they do.
Yes, they sure do. And we're going to talk about what's changing and what's in and what's out. So this was really fun. I did a bunch of research. Sema did a bunch of research. We did just brainstorming of our own. We've got our own ideas in here. A lot of this came from things like both industry trends and stuff like Steam, steamdb.info. What are the most wish-listed games out there? We peppered in a bunch of our own, what we think is hot and what's not, what was overdone in 2025, so we hope is not around for 2026. So we're going to go through that now. I wanted to kick it off with genre, the different genres, and just talk about which genres are in and out more than they have been in the past. Most of them are in, but some of them are a little bit out. So let's start there, Sema. And I bumped this one I added late. I don't know if you saw all of these ones for casual and cozy, because it's not on Steam. So my first pass of looking through Steam wishlist, you don't see these games on Steam as much. Couple. But like stuff like the casual cozy stuff isn't what gets wishlisted on Steam as much. It's a very big genre, and it's a very big segment of the games industry. But it's not the kind of thing that happens to get wishlisted and followed on Steam as much.
It doesn't get the same sort of visibility.
Right. For the people that wishlist, it gets,
right.
It's just as popular potentially.
Right.
But anyway, the couple, I did find some industry marketing about how much of the game segment it is. I'm also very interested in hoping that it's in for 2026, because we're coming out with a casual, fun, cozy game. So
yeah.
My subtitle for cozy games are in is I hope.
I feel too like there's this genre being called cozy games is not helping it.
I agree.
Because people hear the word cozy and they think boring.
And in fact, in all of our marketing, and we've got a marketing firm that we work with right now, we are not using the word cozy.
Yeah, I would not. Yeah.
We're using casual. We're using like cute. We're leading with what the game is, which is animal collecting. It's an animal collecting, light gardening, restore the ecosystem nature game.
Right.
Because exactly what you're saying. And I've heard people say this explicitly. I've seen it come up in, like forum posts and Reddit posts. If I see the word casual, it's like downvote.
And it's not only, it's in all kinds of pop culture. Like if you say cozy books or anything, it's like there's it's a pejorative term now.
Yeah. Yeah. Cozy. Did I say casual? Cozy. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So.
However, they're in.
They are in. Whether you think about that's what they are. Those casual games, then non-combat,
right, and some
stressful
games maybe that you're playing right now on your phone maybe are in this category.
I mean, there's been huge games like this out in the past couple of years. Stuff like Animal Crossing, huge.
Right.
People don't say Animal Crossing, it's a cozy game, it sucks. No, I mean, people recognize Animal Crossing is quite a popular game. So yeah, I hope they're in. This one I expected to be more in for 2025, and this is why I kind of led. And this was the kind of thing I was thinking of. CRPGs. So Baldur's Gate was big in 2024, still well respected and played in 2025. But what happens when you get a big title like that, that's a breakout hit in its genre, is you get a whole bunch of other like indies and major game developers going, Oh, CRPGs are back. Hey, let's start up a team. That takes a little while to actually get the game going.
Right.
So I'm wondering.
And just a comment on the nature of time. Baldur's Gate was Game of the Year in 2023.
Oh, 2023. There we go.
Yeah.
But
so it does take a while to get these games going.
If you look at wishlisted games and down that Steam DB list, there are a bunch of CRPGs. So what I'm expecting is they're in for 2026 because those games that got started in development because Baldur's Gate was such a hit are now going to be hitting. We got stuff like Solasta. Solasta 2 is coming out. And some of these are obviously they've been around. I mean, you could say Rogue Trader, but Rogue Trader was in development alongside in parallel with Baldur's Gate and is now released. Starfinder Afterlight was another one on the list that people are excited about.
But it's not only about the release date, it's about how the reception and if a lot of people play them.
Yeah, right. So we're gonna have to see. So this is more of a question. I even put CRPGs in question mark on this one, but this was one of my theories, and it is a theory that is mine. CRPGs. What was this? Oh, Iron Conspiracy. That was another one. Swordhaven : Iron Conspiracy. Sorry. So yeah, there's some good ones in theory that are coming out in 2026 or just came out. So that's that Swordhaven looks like it may even just came out. So we shall see. All right. This one we're going to talk about for the next half hour, Sema.
Right. Survival games.
Survival games are in.
Of course they are.
So in. They're in so hard. They're way in there, Morty. I think they are in for 2026 and more than they ever have been. It seems to me that a lot of players are sort of discovering them more and more than ever have before. And a lot of players that probably would have been playing MMOs are now playing these instead because they do share some of the core elements of sort of like the persistent world, build your character up, have some role playing going on, and yet don't take the investment that an MMO takes to both either run or to develop, such that I think a lot of game developers who would be building MMOs are building these instead. I would take something like Dune Awakening as a key example of this. Dune Awakening, if it was 10 years ago, would have been an MMO. And now it's a survival game. So with a very, I mean, it really walks the line because it's got sort of like that definitely moderately massive multiplayer aspect of it. We'll talk more about MMOs in a second, but top of the list. So here we are in our most wishlisted games. Number 1, Subnautica 2, survival game. Even though that it's a troubled property, and we hope that it is going to come out in 2026, and we hope that it is going to be good. This is also one of my most wishlisted games. Subnautica 1 was very good. We're hoping Subnautica 2 is going to be good. Everything we've seen so far in the things that we've seen make it look like it's going to be good. The things we've heard so far from the business perspective have just been troubling, just conflicts between the publisher and the original owners of the company who are no longer with the company at the behest of the publishers and the new owners of the company and that kind of thing. So a little troubled on the business side, but hopefully that won't bleed into the game itself. Which reminds me of a what's in and what's out for me kind of discussion that I've seen multiple high profile like gamers and streamers talk about is, hey, wouldn't it be nice if we separated like the business from and like the numbers and the what's getting the most concurrent views and what's dead and what's not dead from what do I think about the game and do I like the game and am I going to have fun playing it?
Yeah.
So what's in for 2026 is do I like the game? And what's out for 2026 is what does XYZ streamers tell me to think about the game?
Well, I like your hopeful thinking there.
Yes, it is wishful thinking. We are all individuals. Everyone repeat after me. We are all individuals.
But I do, to your point, I do hear that from slightly more content creators than in the past, where the content creators themselves will say, hey, if you like it,
Yeah.
play it.
Right. Yeah. In fact, some of the content creators that are rising to the top of the heap, I think are rising to the top of the heap because they come at it from that perspective. People like Co-Carnage, people like Force Gaming.
Yeah.
Let's play things we like, and let's like the things we play.
Yeah, like a bunch of people, this is a really old example, but a bunch of people quit WoW before Mists of Pandaria because they got it in their heads that it was going to be a bad expansion because pandas.
Right.
And instead of just like trying it out and seeing if they liked it,
Right.
they came back later, and it's like one of the most popular expansions of WoW.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that's
And
a really good example.
now then they had to come back later and play it sort of in retrospect. But yeah.
And some of those people who thought that they wouldn't like it because pandas probably didn't even think that themselves. They were just joining, they were just jumping on the bandwagon of everybody's saying it's going to be crap because it's pandas, and saying, yeah, that's what I think too. What did you say? That's what I think too.
Probably.
So let's see. Also on this list, okay, here's one of these survival games that are supposedly coming out. Arc 2. I don't know that. I think Arc 2 is out for 2026. I don't think it's going to come out till 2027 at the earliest.
And is Arc do we know that Arc 2 is even going to be a survival game?
No, we don't. That's a good point. It may be just a straight up RPG. It may be a Souls-like. It's still quite unknown what Arc 2 is going to be. So I think it still gets, it's tagged as survival, but it still could be like, there are plenty of like single player RPGs that are sort of classed as survival, because you got to like go out and survive. You could say like what's the Alloys game?
Oh, Horizon
Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West. You could kind of say that those are survival games because you have to go out and survive the robot apocalypse. It's not really a survival game with survival game mechanics, but it's a survival story. So who knows?
Right.
Maybe they could be just keeping the survival tag because it's Arc. Because this is Studio Wildcard putting it on their page. This isn't someone else someone else tagging it as survival. They're saying it's tagged as survival. So we'll see. Arc 2, I'll play it, whatever it is, when it comes out. If it's not a survival game, I'll probably like it less. But I'm having a ton of fun, although it's brutal. Lost Colony is a brutal, one of the most brutal, hardest maps that they've come out with. And there are plenty of things that I don't prefer about the map, but that's the challenge kind of is a fun part of it.
It's dinosaurs, but maybe it's too many dinosaurs.
It's also, you're in Antarctica, actually, for Lost Colony. So, whereas most of the other maps have like a snowy region and a tropical region and a desert region, and this map is you're all under a dome in Antarctica. So it's all snowy and it's all cold. I don't prefer that. Sometimes that's one of the things I really like about the other Arc maps is a lot of it is nice and sunny and bright, and there's like a beach, and you could like build a hut on the beach and fish. It's a nice place to spend time. Now, velociraptors might come and eat your face, so you got to put up a fence, or turret guns that are going to shoot them, or have your own T-Rex to guard you. But I like games that are also fun places to be, in the same way that when I'm on my treadmill and I want to watch a first-person video or I'm listening to a book, I'll watch videos of the Grand Canyon or Hawaii, and not not the dreary gray slushy outside my house view of what I have right now.
You don't make like a a GoPro video of your neighborhood so that you can watch it on the treadmill.
Right. Which is what the Lost Colony map looks like. It looks like Chicago in February, except a little more mountainous, a lot more mountainous. Anyway, we'll see what Arc 2 is. And then probably my top most anticipated game to hear about in 2026. I don't think this is going to come out in 2026 either.
No.
But Light No Fire. I think news about Light No Fire is in for 2026. But I don't think the game's going to come out in 2026.
I do. I agree. Like dreaming about Light No Fire is in for 2026.
Yes. I even saw Force Gaming. His first video of the year was, "What is up with Light No Fire?" And it basically doesn't say anything more than what we already know.
We won't know until we know.
Right. But everybody should still be asking the question. All the fans are still asking the question. It's okay to put together a video from time to time saying, well, here we are another year later. We still haven't gotten any more of an announcement or here's still the only things we know about it. So fine. But yeah, here we'll just click on a couple other ones. We don't have to go through every single one of these. Looks like a pretty gross, scary one called Blight Survival. So this gets into gruesome. So it's like zombies. It's like medieval zombies. But however they're doing the animation, it's third person, but it's close up over the shoulder third person. And when you do any of your attacks, they have like finisher moves where you shove your sword up through the zombie's chin, up the top of its skull. So it's kind of like Unreal 5 quality. So high res, high quality, good animation, but definitely gruesome kind of game. The opening scene was you jump on a zombie, you get the zombie into the ground, and the finisher move is you jump onto it on the ground, you take your shield and use your shield to basically break its skull open. Here's another one. He tackles it to the ground. Don't look, Sema. Don't look. I meant to put a couple warnings on some of these for you. That's one that looks pretty gruesome and horrible. I wouldn't classify it as horror, though. We'll talk about horror in a second. Outbound is a cozy survival game. There's a few of these out here now. Yeah. So this is a survival adventure kind of game that is centered around either like an RV. This one's sort of like a VW bus. And you go out on your little adventure and do a little gathering and crafting and stuff in your RV for this one. There's a few of these out there now, where you're basically going on an adventure with your mobile home. So these both survival's in and mobile home adventure
right
is in for 2026.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, I didn't realize that. So back it up. So this looks like it turns into Raft as well. You build onto the top of your RV. Did you see what's going on here?
Yeah.
You're building on like a bunch of platforms and then like a whole house that's like strapped to the top of the VW bus.
Yeah.
With a greenhouse and a garden and a deck with an umbrella. And
this is another, every time we talk about genre, it gets, it gets all, genre wanra. But cozy can be a subcategory within a genre. I mean, you can't have cozy horror necessarily, but you could have a cozy MMO and obviously cozy survival, cozy puzzle game. I would argue that Sunderfolk is a cozy D&D game.
Really? Okay, we're going to talk about Sunderfolk in just a second because you played it.
I did.
Yeah. So interesting. Yeah, you're right. Cozy can be a way to realize a game in a genre in the same way that I think horror can.
Right. Yes.
And stylized versus realistic. So it's kind of like a spin on a genre take. So you can have an RPG that's cozy and you can have an RPG that's horror, you can have our RPG that's, action adventure, so, fantasy, sci-fi. So yeah, you're right. I think cozy can be like another dimension layered on to lots of genre, lots of genuses. A couple, the last two I had here on the list, but there's even more. So if you'll just look through that list, there's just a lot of them. And this sort of like proves my point. Solar punk. I like the word solar punk. Why? Oh, they trademarked solar punk. You cannot trademark solar punk. Solar punk is an old term. That's like trademarking cyberpunk. You can trademark cyberpunk 2077.
It's like steampunk.
Yeah, steampunk, cyberpunk, solar punk is a takeoff on cyberpunk, and it's as it's decades old. Okay, anyway, I like the concept, which is let's, in fact, this doesn't even look very solar punk. This just looks like a gardening. There's a little technology in here, I guess. Anyway. It's another survival game. We'll skip over that. We'll see how it looks. And a couple more of these like survival, cute survival games. That's one. And then this one, Rooted. A lot of people are excited about Rooted. This is more of a dark and scary world, a 7 Days to Die style world, and you need to survive out in the game. And it's savage, build, craft, hunt, survive alone or with your friends in an evolving, fascinating post-apocalyptic environment powered by Unreal Engine 5. And the list goes on, and the hits keep coming in. So yeah, I think totally survival's in for 2026. What do you think about single-player games, Sema? Single-player RPGs.
I have an opinion.
All right, lay it on me. That's what we're here for.
I have an opinion. It's like bigger though, sort of like an opinion in general about how many people are playing games together. And I think small numbers and single player is in. Large numbers and open world
massive
is out.
The massive part is out.
Right, like
yep.
And even though some of the games we're looking forward to, like Light No Fire, and then we just talked about Where Winds Meet, those are open world games, but they're exceptions. They're the AAA exceptions. If you call
and if you
Hello Games AAA, I don't know that would work, but anyway, yeah. So I feel like yes, single player RPGs, absolutely single player everything.
Yeah,
in like single player survival, single player because you just have a party then that comes with you.
Right. A little bit of co-op up to, like up to like these 200 player kind of things. But single player as like the heavier weighted end of that, I think you're right.
And I think the co-op games are going to be more for people like we've talked about before, where you have friends that you like to game with, you schedule time together and you go play that co-op game. But in your own time, you play something different.
Yeah. I think that's a valid theory, and I subscribe to that newsletter. So Massively is out. Well, that's what I had down for your theory here.
Yeah.
Massively is out. And single player, small group play is in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's relevant and probably fits well with what we're seeing with MMOs. And, Where Winds Meet is the exception that proves your point, actually, because the bulk is pure single player. There's no multiplayer in your core leveling experience in Where Winds Meet. You actually are locked out of the multiplayer stuff when you level up.
I see what you mean.
So it's a single player game until you decide to turn on multiplayer, and then other people show up in the world with you, and the things you do are different then. You're not doing the story. You're not doing your leveling experience. So it breaks the mold in order to subscribe to your newsletter. So yeah.
Well,
Massively is out and single player small group is in.
Yep.
Top I think this is going to be the runner-up for Game of the Year. This is I think it will be a candidate for Game of the Year when we're talking about single player. I'm just seeing more and more buzz for this game, Crimson Desert. Boy, I think this game's going to be hot. People are real excited about Crimson Desert from Pearl Abyss.
It has a Steam warning for gore and violence.
But this is like fantasy. You kill the dragon kind of violence, not I take my fist and smash the guts out of a zombie's head.
Yeah. I hear ya.
Because I'm like looking at it here, and they would probably showcase some of that violence if it was the point of the game.
I was too lazy to watch this because Steam wanted me to put my birthday in, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah, I did put my birthday in because maybe
I'm
they'll
not
send me a
typing
present.
Like, if they go, "Are you over 21?" with a checkbox, I'm okay with.
You can put January 1st, 1970.
No,
whatever.
you misunderstand. I just don't wanna type number,
Oh,
enter. Yeah.
it's too much typing.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
right.
lost me. Too many
ready.
clicks.
I can do one click.
I don't care
Show
about
me
my
the
personal information, but you make me click
Right.
twice? Forget
Right.
it.
No, not doing it.
Yeah,
Because
we'll see.
Steam already knows my birthday. It's just that
Yeah.
I hadn't logged in. I just followed a link.
Yeah, but that's true. Steam knows your birthday. Why can't,
Yeah.
what the hell, man? Why are you asking me again? I was here you're fighting dudes, but I don't see anything super. I didn't see like any blood or gore when you're fighting dudes.
Yeah. I don't know.
Look at those clockwork dragon things.
I don't know.
Wow, those look cool.
I don't know how bloody something has to be to get that Steam warning. It probably is pretty easy to get.
Well, there's no violence in Garden of Goat, so we got that going for us.
That's right.
But it's not cozy. This is Pearl Abyss, which is Black Desert Online. But this is a single-player RPG.
My judgmental comment about this trailer for Crimson Desert is it's not as compelling as that little trailer for Arc 2, if you ask me. Just how the dragons move and fly and attack is like the dinosaurs in that Arc 2 trailer were just like so visceral.
Yeah, this is a fine gameplay trailer. I think. Okay, so here's another trailer of theirs. So this might tell more of a story.
Okay.
So that's the thing. There's two kinds of trailers, and I like both.
You're right. Yeah.
But if you even when you're just showing the gameplay, you still kind of need to tell a story. It's really hard, but you need to think about what story you're trying to tell. I had to put together a couple, like a 3-minute and a 5-minute dev walkthrough video recently not for public consumption, but I'm trying to figure out how do I tell the story of what our game is, and like at least it's like show some of the progression and show how the game unfolds, and like where does the surprise and delight come from. That's what you kind of want a trailer to do. And if you just throw together, hey, here's a thing and here's a thing and here's a thing, here's look fighting, you're not really like telling the story of what's going on. Maybe if we were hearing the words, that might help, because maybe they're saying, in a world where the desert is crimson, things have gone very crimson. So we'll see. But I bet this is going to be big. It's just a bet. I don't think it's going to be as big as Grand Theft Auto, but then who knows if Grand Theft Auto is going to come out in 2026. We'll get to that. Western MMOs. Western style and Western studio MMOs are out. They're out for 2026. They were all canceled at the end of 2025. Riot's maybe going to save us, but they will not be out in 2026. There are a couple indie ones, but the indie ones just aren't getting the uptake, even though the hardcore players, everything on the hardcore players checklist for what they want out of an MMO, these indie games are providing. And then people don't play it. So they're actually lying about what their checklist is all about.
So I have an opinion about this too, which is that new Western MMOs, yes, I agree, out definitely for 2026, but they could so easily be back in if they just tweaked their ideas about how to make money. And if they could learn from the Eastern MMOs and come up with a free-to-play model that funds them and doesn't piss off Western players, MMOs are back in
I think
because they could continually pump money then.
we did a show on this, 2 weeks ago? There's still the problem of the Western studios costing 2 to 3 times as much to make their game. So the monetization model and that plus Eastern MMOs get away with a lot more in their monetization models, it seems to me. So
No,
I think you're right.
I'm not saying it's a easy problem.
Yeah.
I'm saying if they were to fix the problem, because I don't think they've actually turned their best minds to the problem. I think what they've done is said, well, we'll take a little bit from column A and a little bit from column B and come up with
Yeah.
this like mashup of subscription and free to play that keeps them going, but doesn't fund anything new and doesn't fund it on a big
yeah,
scale.
right. And tries to do it like they have always done it. Well,
Yeah.
you get 300 people together, in a studio in San Francisco, and you have a subscription model and a cash shop, and you make an MMO, and that just does not
Right.
work.
Right. And I'm not the person. I don't know what this model I'm saying could happen actually is, but there's way smarter people out there than me that they
Right.
just haven't. I feel like they haven't really turned their minds to it.
So I think for 2026, Western MMOs are out. Whether they ever come back, I think hinges on what you're suggesting, Sema, which is, are those people going to put their right minds to the smart people going to engineer a new way of doing things and potentially learning from, which I think for 2026, Eastern MMOs are in. I think we're going to continue to get, we got Where Winds Meet that's continuing to develop. We're going to get Chrono Odyssey. And a lot of people are really excited about this. This is on one of the most wish-listed things. And it gets to, again, the idea that Eastern MMOs are operating at a different level financially, both from the monetization and from the cost to develop the game, that they can put out very high-quality products.
They're just in a different position.
Yeah, they are. And a different market. So these Eastern MMOs don't work as well in the Western market, for some of the reasons that new Western MMOs are not working in the Western market, because they don't like players feel like they don't like the monetization model. And if it smells like free to play, it gets, downvoted and banned, everybody says, that's garbage. I'm not going to play it. I think, whereas like in Korea and Japan and China, players don't think that way. And as a result, games like these are flourishing and will continue to flourish in 2026. So they are in. Whether one of them eventually just ends up crossing over because it's just so good that players say, all right, sure, there's a cash shop and a little bit of pay to win in here. But even in those Eastern markets, the whole pay to win model and the like gambling is starting to get banned and outlawed in those markets. And the pay to win is starting to get tempered. So if they meet in the middle, the expectations of the Western audiences and the monetization models of the Eastern games, we could have a breakout which causes one of these, Chrono Odyssey or Where Winds Meet or something that's coming out next, to cross over and become big globally. So yeah. Massively is out. We already talked about that. Friend games are in. All right, let's talk about this for a second.
Yeah, so I'm calling them friend games. It's kind of like party games, but like on the next level. So like they're serious games with development, but you play them with your friends. And like I was talking about earlier, you have to schedule time to do them. It's sort of like when Max, you and I played. We were there forever.
Yep.
And
that's a good example.
Game, where
Split Fiction is a huge example of this that people are loving.
Yes. So anyway, with Sunderfolk, we talked about this earlier in the year, and we kind of focus on the fact that one player is projecting the sort of DM version of the game on their TV, and everyone else is sitting on a couch and they're using their phones as a controller for for their characters. But really, the game has a very sort of vibrant um, art style, and also you go on these little missions, and then you come back to town and you talk to various people in the town, and you upgrade the tavern or a store or whatever, so you can buy more trinkets to get more powerful. And as you level, you get more cards, and each card is a new ability.
Mm.
So, like, my character was like a pyromancer, but was like a little animal, like a ferret or something. And I had to start out with, I had 3 abilities, and they were all around fire. Like, I could cast fire, I could light things on fire. But a really cool thing that I hadn't run into before with a fire mage type character was that when you step in one of the spots where you've previously put down fire, it boosts your firepower.
Mm. Yeah.
Doesn't take away any of your health, but it does boost your fire. And it is based on um it's very D&D-ish because
Yep.
they're like you can move so many squares.
It's
They're
the
not squares, they're
grid. They're not
hexagons, but we'll just
squares.
call them,
Yeah. Is
they're
that okay?
hexagons.
Was that okay for you, Sema? Did you?
Yeah, it was fine. It was fine. Um, so you move a certain number, and then your abilities have a range of a certain number. And the way we played, we had Zephyrix playing this big hammer wielding bear, was more of a tank character because he could like provoke the mobs and um, also cause them. He would hit them with his hammer, and then they would take more damage when I would come in afterwards and hit them with my fire, for instance.
Yeah.
And the reason I made an argument earlier that it's almost a cozy version of D&D is because it's very D&D-ish with the roll. You draw cards, you don't actually roll, but the game is obviously rolling, right? But it's very sort of cute looking, and when you kill something, it's not, you don't stab them up through their chin and come out the top of their head. They kinda just like, you know, poof or dissolve into a pile of bones, and depending on
Yeah.
the kind of mob that is, then the bones might reanimate or whatever. So it's and you we were playing it on the easy mode where you can die, but then you just res. You're just out for a turn, and then you come back to life.
Yeah.
So there is character death and all that stuff, which is not usually a feature of Cozy, but it's also very slow paced, like D&D can be.
Sure.
Because like I take my turn and I can like move and then I can attack and then
Yeah. It's
maybe I
all
can move
turn
again.
based. It's not.
Yeah,
It's not a live action.
right. And some characters, when their card will have like a move and an attack and another move and then another attack and then their turn is over, right? So so during all this time, there's also like lots of time for socialization. So it's
Mm-hmm.
a lot like getting together. And we obviously didn't sit on a couch and watch it on TV. We were playing it in Discord, and someone was streaming it on Discord. Um, I did find for me though, on my phone, it was too small for me. So I switched to my iPad
Ah.
the second time we played, and that was actually I felt like I had more control because when you're moving your character with your finger on your phone, if it's a small screen, then it's harder to get to the actual place that you want to go. So, like on my iPad, it was huge, and I was using my Apple Pencil,
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's a good
but it was a
option.
lot of fun. But I think, see, also when we talked about Thunderbolt before, I didn't get why people would want to play a game where and the same with when you and I played, We Were There Forever. It was sort of like, who's going to play these games? Like, who wants to get together in this prescribed of a manner? I sort of get it now more. It's like an outing,
Yeah.
and it's a social thing that you do with friends. And if we don't play Thunderfolk again now for another month, we can just pick up where we left off, and the cards say on them what your attack is actually going to do, and everyone can see your card, by the way. And so
Oh.
everyone can chime in and say, oh, look, if you moved over here, then you could pick up this gold and kill that guy, you know?
Sure. Very
Yeah.
cooperative.
And you can go in any order. So like sometimes we would decide which order to go in because like it made more sense for our hunter to go first because he could, expose weakness, and then our two DPS players could go in and finish them off. It was really fun. But
That's cool.
it's very slow paced compared to just running around in a game shooting things.
Yeah, right. Doing a raid night and having a million things, actions per minute, clicking around.
Yeah, and even though you're drawing cards, it's nothing like a card game. The cards are just the way they communicate to you
Yeah.
what your abilities are.
Yeah.
And
Cool. Yeah, I
it's
almost
completely
played this.
cooperative. Yeah.
I almost played this over the holidays when my kids were in. We ended up doing a jigsaw puzzle instead, which is another fun thing that we like to do on the side.
Well, I have a pro tip about that.
Oh yeah?
Like when you first start, you have a choice to play a campaign or to play a one shot. We start off with a one shot because we thought that would be the simple way to start. The Starting the campaign is the way to go because that's where you get the tutorial and you figure out how to move your character and all that stuff. In the one shot, you're already supposed to know that.
Oh, good to know. Good to know. So if we do get it going at some point, we can do that. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So Sunderfolk and Friend Games are in. Split Fiction. It's a huge success. And even more than I expected in 2025. So yeah, in for 2026. All right, Sema. Next one, remakes and remasters. I think they're in. I think they're so in for 2026 and continue to grow.
I think they're in forever.
Yeah, I agree. It's because especially in this in this market,
Right.
where it's risky to invest a lot to put out a new game. There's old IP properties and old games that you can remaster and reintroduce potentially to new audiences that weren't even born when those games were made. I think people need to be careful when they criticize some of these like remakes and remasters and saying, I already bought that game. I already played that game. Why would I buy that game again? Well, that's not for you. It's for the people that weren't born when that game first initially came out. Or,
Right.
we're toddlers at the time and now are being introduced to this IP and this property, and Fallout 4, or not Fallout 4, Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3, in theory, are likely going to be remastered. People are hoping that as this season wraps up of the Fallout TV show, that we might get a shadow drop of Fallout New Vegas remaster that just drops from Bethesda. That would be big. We still have rumors out there about Knights of the Old Republic remake. And in theory, Saber Interactive is still working on it. And it's gonna be a thing. And there's a lot of people who would love to be introduced to the Knights of the Old Republic. And I think it makes a lot of sense. So this is not the kind of game that I want. I don't want a bunch of remakes and remasters. I don't like when they do it in films. I don't like when they do it in games as much, but I don't begrudge the studios for doing it. And I think it's a nice thing for players that never played those games or are new to the world. Planet Earth, welcome to Planet Earth. Here's an old game that's like remade, so it works really well now today that you get to experience. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Chrono Trigger rumors are out there. That's one that I would potentially just play because this is high on people's lists of best games of all time ever. And I never played it. So again, this would potentially be for me then. I'm interested in the best games of all time ever. And this in theory is one. And if there was like a remaster or a reason to like a better version, a modern version of it, at least running correctly on modern hardware, that would be great. All right, here's one that's out, Sema, and we've kind of talked about this. New hero shooters, not hero shooters, but new hero shooters are out. And I think this is for a couple reasons. I think this is a genre that it requires investment in a property to get involved in a hero shooter. You're either you're an Overwatch player, you need a lot of players, you need all your friends to be playing Overwatch, and everybody's got to play Overwatch for you to be, to have Overwatch work. Marvel Rivals. You need everybody, you need all your friends, you need everybody to be playing Marvel Rivals for it to work. So even if a new great hero shooter comes out, it's hard for you and all your friends to say, okay, now we can't, we play hero shooters. Now we're going to go play this new one. Well, John doesn't have the budget to buy it. And Sally just, has got all of her cosmetics and everything in Overwatch. And it's a high barrier to getting the audience to come over to that new one, for one. And for two, the ones that are out there and are successful are really, really good and have refined themselves to the point of being like super successful. So it's a hard genre to break into.
Oh,
it's a tough spot.
yeah, I think it's like what we were saying about new MMOs. They have some of the same barriers. Like all my cosmetics are in Star Wars: The Old Republic and in World of Warcraft, and also all the people that are playing those games don't need a new game.
Right.
And like Forrester pointed out in the chat room, Elder Scrolls Online is in the same boat. They're still developing. They're still releasing stuff. We're not saying that existing MMOs
Right.
are out. They're very much in.
Right. Exactly. And I think we even have a point coming up. Like old is in. Old school games are in, but new hero shooters are out. And what I'm showing on the screen is Highguard. I didn't even mention Highguard, but Highguard, who got pummeled and bashed, and still coming out on January 26th because of their trailer that was potentially poorly positioned in being like the next new big thing, when people were hoping to see other things, for one, and for two, at the end of the Game Awards, and for two, just aren't dying for a new hero shooter for all the reasons I just mentioned. Highguard's not highly anticipated. May Highguard be an excellent game? Yeah, it might be. And if you just want to judge it on its own merits, maybe it's a great thing. But do people want another hero shooter to even ponder? It seems like the answer to that is no. So I think for 2026, new hero shooters are out. I like saying out and in. We're going to have to make that a segment going forward.
I am interested to see how this game does.
Cool. All right. We've been going for an hour. We're going to have to go a little faster through some of these.
Yes.
This one, I think, has the potential to become a new genre in the same way that we've got roguelikes and Souls-likes and Survivor-likes, Vampire Survivor-like games. This goes a little bit further out there, but I think we're going to get Expedition 33 likes coming out in 2026 and maybe even into 2027, because it takes a while to make these. There's already one that is now, it's called Sword and Fairy 4. So Sword and Fairy 4 remake, people are saying, is too much like Expedition 33. And I think what Sword and Fairy 4 remake is doing is saying, well, Expedition 33, people are loving that game. Well, how are we going to, make our game work really well? It's not like Expedition 33 is something really brand new. It's a JRPG. It's based on a genre that's existed, and all of those mechanics, they refined it and they did a couple new things. And now people are copying what was successful on what they did, their kind of game of the year. And if you get a game of the year, people are going to want to make games like that game of the year.
Yeah, and also in this case, I don't think it's all that fair to say they're copying, because this is an IP that's been around, and also this one's a remake. So
they're standing on the shoulders of giants in doing this. It's like saying, Black Myth Wukong, which is based on Souls-like. It's like you could see Elder Scrolls 3 comes out and people, not Elder Scrolls, Elden Ring. Elden Ring 2 comes out. People could say, oh, that's a Black Myth Wukong ripoff. Well, Black Myth Wukong was a ripoff of Elden Ring 1.
Yeah.
It's a Souls-like. You can't,
Right.
it's all like building on the shoulders
Yeah,
of giants.
yeah,
so,
that was that's right.
yeah.
Time is a flat circle.
And then my last of the genre takes is horror. Horror is in. Back to looking at the wishlisted stuff, most wishlisted. I go down this list and there's a lot of horror in there. Top of like fun horror that I think will be really popular is Resident Evil Requiem. Very highly anticipated, very highly respected property and IP and series. Resident Evil Requiem, they want to basically tie together a lot of the Resident Evil games that have come before, and potentially kind of like put an end to that series. They've stated, Capcom has said, we're still going to make Resident Evil games in the future, but this may like be the end of an era, is kind of what they want Resident Evil Requiem to be. But to get to the larger genre, horror, there's a lot of horror in this list, and a lot of it is like horror, like, like body, like some of this stuff is just crazy, weird, gross horror. Here, this one, Reanimal, where they're like, like the little mutant babies with teeth chasing you down. No, that's not what this one is. Reanimal is something else. Where's that one? Ill. Oh, Ill. Ill looks gross, man. So Ill is like these naked mutants, and some of them are like babies, and some of them are giant. And like, would you rather fight, one horse-sized mutant or 50 mutant duck-sized baby mutants? I don't know. But
yeah.
it keeps going down this list.
It kind of looks like 7 Days to Die, though.
Except much more into the horror, because it was like a lot more of like the jump scares. 7 Days to Die is definitely, horror-ish zombie stuff. But this Ill game is like, you go around the corner and it's a weird zombie thing that jumps its head out and bends itself in half to come, that kind of thing.
They mostly come out at night.
Mostly. Good one. That was a good impression too. So yeah, horror in for 2026. Generally, from a games industry, I've got a couple from the studio's perspective and the games industry perspective. AAA, out. Not really, but I think the biggest games of the year are still going to be AAA games.
Yeah, right.
But in that, indie is in for 2026 because it's a thing I think that just is interesting to a lot of people and continuing to grow in people discovering that indie is where a lot of great games can come from. Segment of the market and where the best of the best and game of the years are coming from. Indie is in for 2026. And as a result, AAA in importance, I think, will continue to decline. In share of revenue, they still may just be just as big as they ever were. We're going to get, GTA 5. If you look at like the most played games, I think I've got that. Most played games on consoles for the last 2 years are the same 5 games, which are Fortnite, Call of Duty, GTA 5, Roblox, and Minecraft. So it's all giant games, and it's all the same giant games over and over and over again, which gets to our third bullet in this is old games are in. You know, what's old is new. People like their games that they've been playing for the last decade and want to continue to play those games. Old school RuneScape, OSRS, continues to top the charts in most played MMOs. Minecraft. Oh, here's one that blew my mind. Witcher 3 might get an expansion. How old is Witcher 3? 10 years old now?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to get an expansion. They're talking about another expansion for Cyberpunk 2077. Old games are new.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. It's the next step after what we were just talking about with like reissues and remakes.
Right. If GTA 6 does not come out this year, GTA 5 will continue to be one of the most played games in 2026. Old is in. In. Oh, we're gonna get to that, Forrester, on the hardware. So let's jump to that just as a quick aside. 2026 RAM is out.
Yeah, right. No more RAM for anybody.
No more RAM. People are not going to be able to buy new gaming PCs potentially, which then asks a couple questions. It raises some questions. It doesn't beg the question, it raises questions. Is cloud gaming in for 2026? I don't know if it's all the way in yet,
I
but
think it's got its toe in the door. Like even diehard people who would be totally against it have been thinking, well, should I look into it? But
right.
I don't call that 2026 happening really. But I mean, it's certainly made me think about it, the RAM thing, and also NVIDIA saying, all their GPUs are going to data centers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that that's a pendulum that swings. So
Yes,
I
it
think it'll
is.
come back. But it does make the case for cloud gaming more than ever before when you can't even
Right.
buy a new PC to play some of the new games. It could be a little bit of a boost. You might want to buy some stock in cloud gaming studios.
And this is
I
further
am
on
not
down
a
the list.
financial analyst and know none of my don't buy on my recommendation.
Yeah, don't
I didn't mean
do
that.
not do that.
I'm an entertainer.
But
Not
I
even
think
that.
also this this issue of cloud gaming is kind of balanced against something that's a little bit further down the list, which is the Steam Cube.
Yeah, the
It's sort of
Steam
like
machine.
it's sort of like if cloud gaming were to really take off in time, then they'd never be able to sell the Steam Cube. But in the interim, the Steam Cube may be the perfect solution for some people.
Except if RAM costs drive up the
Well,
price of the Steam machine,
yes, except if it's priced. Yes,
then I think it could be dead
I
on the
should have.
arrival. Yeah.
I totally agree. I should have said it depends on the price of it. Yeah.
If they've put
Even
together a
though
bunch
you
of
can,
contracts, if they've gotten their contracts done early, then maybe they're fine. If not, Steam machine could be out for 2026. In fact, that's my
yeah,
prediction, is that it'll be a really cool thing and it'll have a niche market and it won't be unsuccessful, but it will not be mainstream. It will
so
not be a big
when you
success. It'll be
say
out.
niche market, who's in that niche?
Just the hardcore Steam people with with hundreds of games in their Steam library.
So no console players.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to take any significant share out of the console market. I think it's going to be hardcore
I
Steam
don't.
library PC players that want to have a Valve box next to their TV.
Yeah. Yeah, they are very up on this. They're very thumbs up on this box, the Steam players.
Yep. So, cool. And then let's just finish off with, I've got maybe about 6 or 7 games here of what specific games are in and out for 2026. And near and dear to our hearts, SWOTOR. SWOTOR 8.0. I'm saying, we're a little bit of prediction here. SWOTOR 8.0 is in for 2026.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's exactly right.
But let's go with it, man.
Yeah. So sometimes our first, actually for the last 10 years, our first show of the year has been predictions. And for our first 7 years of this show, it's been predictions about Star Wars: The Old Republic. If we look at Star Wars: The Old Republic for 2026, we have heard that there will be updates. We are pretty sure, and I will predict with high confidence that the 7.0 storyline and the Legacy of the Sith storyline is going to end in 2026. So
Yeah.
the end of that story is in for 2026.
Yes. Yeah. I've come over to that way of thinking.
What about 8.0 and a new story starting in 2026? Where do you land on that, Sema, for the December update? Do you think we'll get the start of something new in like an 8.0 launch in 2026, or not until 2027?
I wish, but in my heart of hearts, I don't think so.
I think I think you're right. I will go with yes, just so that we
Okay.
can like have that prediction out there. So I will say 8.0 is in for December of 2026. And Seymour will say it's out.
It's out.
Next up, I think it's kind of like the year of WoW in 2026. A year of WoW in 2026. I think WoW is in
So many different versions of
all the
WoW.
WoWs.
All the WoW, yeah. Um, and also, I mean, I don't know if this is what you meant by putting in the list, but we already said Star Wars: The Old Republic, but I just going back to MMOs in general, all the MMOs, like WoW,
Sure.
ESO, even Lotro.
All
Like,
the old popular,
yeah,
the existing, the ones that have been around for, the last
right.
10 years, they're
It
in
kind
for
of, yeah,
2026.
yeah, it goes with like what you said about old school RuneScape. It's just,
Yeah.
yeah, we love them.
Yeah. So I think, they're all going to continue to be successful. They're all going to continue to live on and be developed. Guild Wars, Elder Scrolls, Final Fantasy, World of
Yeah.
Warcraft, Star Wars: The Old Republic, Lord of the Rings Online, Star Trek Online, all of those in
Yes.
for 2026.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good point. All right, here's one that I'm branching out on. I don't know if we're going to get it for 2026, but I think if we don't get it, and it's not, it's coming out in 2027. But I think, again, by the end of 2026, Exodus will be one of the most wishlisted games. I predict this is going to be building and building, and the year of interest in Exodus for 2026. So Exodus is in for 2026, even though it won't get released in 2026. I think this is going to be big. I think the narrative, the IP, the universe that they're building, the story that I think people are primed for wanting this. Where we don't have a new Mass Effect that's coming out yet, which this kind of falls in that space that people want. I think there's a room for a lot of stories to tell. There's a nice place for the player as a hero, not the chosen one, but like a class of hero that sits in between humanity and the Celestials. I think, Exodus is in for 2026. I'm very interested in this. Much more so than the next thing, which GTA 6 is in for 2026. We hope.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. If it launches, it'll definitely be a force for sure.
Yeah. A force for good or evil, we don't yet know. But
I mean, GTA 6 could be so huge that it could just suck the players out of every other game.
yes, suck the life out of the players as well. Coming
And
November 19th of 2026, they insist.
but I do feel like it's an if.
Yes,
If it
I
comes.
agree. And boy, well, I would say, boy, are they in trouble if they delay it? No, they're not. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And
And the reason I say if is because I don't know what's going on inside there. Like, I don't know why they had to put it off 6 months twice. I
right,
just feel like something's going on there, and I don't trust now.
right, exactly. But yeah, I think 2026 will be the year of, I think it will come out. It would be crazy if they delay it again. And as such, I think it's going to be game of the year and a big deal.
Yeah.
Let's see, is this the last one? No, we already talked about Crimson Desert. I think Crimson Desert is in for 2026 and may end up being like on that, on the game of the year, happy to lose to GTA 6 as for game of the year nominee. And then my last one for in games that are in for 2026 is Warhammer. I think we're going to get like a bunch of Warhammers. I think just Warhammer in general is in for 2026. I don't know which of these will be the most successful or the big breakout, but there's Warhammer Total War 40K that we expect is going to be in 2026, but could get pushed to 2027. There's Warhammer 40K Dawn of War 4 that's in development as well. There's Warhammer 40K Dark Heresy, which is coming soon from Owlcat Games. There's Warhammer Rogue Trader that just got released. And then I don't think this is going to be 2026, but it's going to be in the news in 2026. There's the Warhammer 40K live action franchise. Henry Cavill is working on it. I think it'll get announced when it will premiere, but I think it will premiere in early 2027, not in 2026 is my prediction.
And I think this is cool that Henry Cavill, it seems like it's a passion project for him. But then, he also left Witcher 3, so I don't know.
Right. Yeah, you want to think that it
Yeah.
was because he has too high of a vision, he was too good for it. And that's what's going to make this great. But still, if something like, if you leave a thing, no matter, for what reasons, it's still a thing that you left, which puts a little bit of a black mark on both the thing and you.
Yeah. And from what I've read, he said, was supposedly some creative differences about staying true to the books and all that stuff, which I'm not saying I don't believe that. It's just that I get it, that if you get bored of doing something and you're a millionaire, why not go do something else?
Right. Again, and not saying that that's what happened either, but
no, I'm not saying that's what happened,
know.
but why not? I'm just saying he presents himself as, hey, I'm a fellow nerd, and I want to believe that.
Yeah.
And that's just all I'll say.
Yep. So we'll see. But I think Warhammer in general, in for 2026.
Yeah.
All right. That was a lot. That was a lot of stuff, but I think it was really fun. And I think it's fun to think about. And maybe we'll make it a recurring segment of what's in and what's out and what we predicted was in and what's out and what we got wrong. If you got your own opinions on what's in and what's out, both your personal and, industry predictions, let us know. I really like the format. I liked the thinking about it. I like what showed up on the list, and we will do it more. But that is it for today for our first episode of 2026. We've only been doing this 588 other times, Sema. So I predict the new Overlords podcast is in. This is it. This is our year,
Okay.
Sema. This is the year we're going to get big because it hasn't happened the first 11 years.
Right. Might as well happen this year.
13 years. I think this is good. We're going on our 13th year, actually. So yeah, it hasn't happened yet, but this is the year, Sema. This is the year we go big.
Right.
If you would like to be along with us as we go big, all the feed and subscribe links for the show are on newoverlords.com, and our video is up on YouTube/newoverlords. Please come chat with us in our Discord at newoverlords.com/Discord. You can also follow on all the social networks, and we'll keep you up to date there too. And with that, we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.